Right now, the latest on the conflict in Sudan that forced more than 100 American diplomats to flee the North African country so far. But first, celebrating all things inclusivity and Madison's transgender community at the second annual Trans Joy event. And this summer's travel is expected to be the busiest in years, but high prices are taking off with those planes. That's all coming up at 10. Good evening and thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Arman Rahman. Today, Madison's transgender community came together to connect with resources, create crafts, and celebrate who they are. As McKenna Alexander explains, this afternoon's event is one that organizers believe is critically needed during this time of uncertainty.
Here at Vilas Park, the second annual Trans Joy event is creating a space that's safe, supportive, and needed in the city of Madison.
Being at an event like this is someplace where they can feel safe, that makes them feel that they are not alone.
Sunday afternoon, under the pavilion at Vilas Park, roughly 400 people gathered for songwriting, tie-dyeing, banner decorating, face painting, and more. But for those attending, the best part of Trans Joy isn't just the activities or the resources or even the freebies. Instead, it's the sense of community, something so valuable it can't be listed on an event schedule.
I don't pass as cisgender. I bear the scars of decades of trying to hide myself, of trying to erase myself. I dreamt of suicide for a long, long time, decades. I dreamt of suicide. And when I finally came out, it's because I saw so many young people starting to queer what it meant to be queer, right? You don't have to be this or that. You can be these amazing people. And it's a whole different world. You know, I can love who I am as who I am.
For people like Vika Etta Steele, Sunday's gathering provides a sense of peace, something Trans Joy organizers say is especially needed in southern Wisconsin.
In the United States, overall, trans folks only account for like a small percentage of the population, but in Madison and Dane County, there's actually a pretty high percentage of trans people, and the need is there for community, and we put on this event to build resilience through meeting other trans folks.
Nagler says that resiliency is critical at this point in American history.
There has been an uptick in anti-trans violence, so it gives a sense of safer spaces, it gives a sense of community, and it does connect people with the resources that they need.
Trans Joy is just one of many events scheduled for 2023, assuring that here in Madison, there's a space for everyone.
We're not strange, we're not weird. We're just like everybody else, and events like this show that there can be a lot of love for the transgender community, and we want to make sure that people know that.
In Madison, for News 3 Now, this is McKenna Alexander.
Now let's get a look at your certified worst worn forecast with meteorologist Jacob Montesano. Jacob, how's it out there?
Well, it's still a little cold, but the wind is not really a factor at all, so the temperatures don't really feel too bad. Obviously, it's not ideal, especially considering the time of the year, but it definitely could be worse. Now, here's a look at the current radar. We are seeing some patches on the radar, but a lot of that is not reaching the ground. It's mostly drying out. And zooming further out, a lot of the Midwest and Great Lakes region is fairly dry at this hour. But it is very cold. Here are the frost and freeze bulletins. Still a lot of freeze warnings to the south of our area. And the only reason our area is not under the freeze warning, we are going to drop below freezing tonight, but it's not terribly uncommon for this time of year for Wisconsin to see below freezing temperatures, even though it is April 23rd. Now, if we see these temperatures in May, we may be getting a freeze warning for those temperatures. Now, here's a look at the current conditions, 39 in Madison, but the best part about that, the wind is calm. Here's a look at the current temperatures across Dane County, all in the upper 30s, 39 in Madison, as I mentioned, 38 in Middleton, and zooming further out, much of our area into the 30s. Out near the lake, though, it is still 40 in Milwaukee and Kenosha, and up near Black River Falls, it's already in the 20s, and parts of our area could get into the 20s overnight. I'll have the details coming up later.
Jacob, thank you. New today out of Rock County, sheriff's deputies have arrested a Janesville man they say was intoxicated and involved in a fatal head-on crash. Around 6 this morning, crews were called to a two-vehicle head-on crash on South County Road D. Police say a 49-year-old man from Janesville was driving north when he crossed the center line and hit a 54-year-old woman, also from Janesville, driving south. She was pronounced dead on scene. The man was taken to St. Mary's Hospital for injuries to his leg, arm, and chest. He was later arrested and is facing charges of homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle. Middleton police are searching for a man they say entered a home uninvited this morning. Officers were called to a home on the 1300 block of North High Point Road around 10:30. A resident reported a man they didn't know entered their home. After a fight, the resident reportedly scared the intruder off. Police described the suspect as a 6-foot-tall, muscular black man in his 20s wearing a black hooded sweatshirt and blue jeans. Any witnesses in the area are asked to contact Middleton Police Department or Madison Area Crime Stoppers. More gun violence is rattling multiple communities across the U.S. this weekend. Sheriff deputies are investigating 2 shootings in southeast Texas today, one that happened at an after-prom party in the early morning in Jasper. Investigators say someone opened fire at the party and injured 9 teenagers who are expected to recover. Another shooting happened in the city afterwards, but it's unclear if it's related. This as the 2 Tennessee lawmakers who made headlines recently are prepared to meet with President Joe Biden.
That we need emergency response because we're facing a crisis situation, and that in states like ours, we need help from our national leaders.
It is also to think about beyond executive orders, what other authority exists within departments and agencies that the president is ultimately responsible for.
Meanwhile, on Friday in Washington, D.C., police still looking for suspects in back-to-back shootings that wounded 8 people, including a 12-year-old girl. More local news tonight. A favorite holiday tradition in Madison will look a little different next year. Our Nicole Herzog has that story.
Well, if you've ever driven down University Avenue during the holidays, chances are you've seen these trees lit up.
I find out a week ago that they're taking out practically half the trees, which was quite a shock. I didn't know, I wasn't aware it was going to be that many.
Over 30 years ago, Chris Kammer's father had the idea to plant trees along the parking lot of his dental practice.
He said, someday I want to light all these trees up.
Since then, it's become a holiday tradition carried on by the Kammer Family Foundation. But now, plans to make walking and biking easier in the area mean 300 feet of those beloved trees have to be taken down. The city of Madison will place a pedestrian bridge over University Bay Drive, plus a widened sidewalk on University Avenue to make room for a bike and walking path.
The bike path and the bridge that is to come, awesome, wonderful, what a gift to the city. Of course, a little sad that the trees that we planted some over 30 years ago and the long display that has become so cherished by so many is cut in half.
But it isn't all bad news. Some trees will still remain, and Kammer says he's hopeful they'll be able to keep the tradition going.
I'm uplifted and positive that somehow we'll replace these trees, we'll relight them, so hang in there, people. I hope it'll come back.
Construction is expected to continue on University Avenue until early September. Reporting in Madison, Nicole Herzog, News 3 Now.
Well, birds of a feather flocked together to Warner Park today to celebrate the winged friends Madison's got right in its own backyard. The Bird and Nature Festival, hosted by Friends of Urban Nature, featured opportunities to experience live birds from afar and up close with Open Door Bird Sanctuary. People also made bluebird houses and planted trees. Organizers say it's important to enjoy and accommodate nature's treasures.
The baby eagle put its head up today in the middle of an urban area. And what that says is that our parks people, our city, we're doing the right thing here, helping preserve nature right in the middle of town. You do that and they will come. There is nature right here.
Madison Parks offers bird watching tours by foot, bike, or even paddle. And as the weather gets warmer, it's time to start caring for your yard. But did you know more than 9,000 American kids end up in the emergency room every year because of injuries related to lawn mowing? That's why physicians at UW Health want to make sure your child has the proper training, shoes, and goggles if you plan to put them to work outside. Lawnmowers have blades that spin hundreds of miles per hour and can fire rocks or other projectiles. Injuries can range from a few cuts and bruises to loss of limbs. Believe it or not, doctors say 15 kids in the United States die from lawnmower-related causes every year.
I'll mow our lawn once a week, right? And it's just part of the American culture to have your kids doing yard work and working out. But the fact of the matter is, even though lawnmowers are so familiar to our culture and so familiar to us, doesn't make them any less dangerous.
Another good rule of thumb is 6, 12, 12, 16. If your child is 6 years old or younger, they should be inside when someone's mowing the lawn. Only kids over 12 should operate a push lawnmower, and only teens older than 16 should use a riding mower. Well, still ahead on the news at 10, crazy video shows Mother Nature's power over 2 houses right up against a cliff in Utah. Plus, when can we expect some warmth again? Jacob has that answer in your First Warn forecast.
Our phones keep us constantly connected.
Please switch to airplane mode.
But what if they had a mode to help us actually connect? Introducing Us Mode, a mode that makes our phones less distracting, so we can focus on quality time. So the notifications we get are the ones that matter. So we're never distracted from what's most important. Visit US Cellular in-store or online to set up Us Mode for free, even if you're not a customer. US Cellular, built for us.
As a veteran of our country's armed services, you have already made the ultimate sacrifice. Why should you have to continue to do that? Through no fault of your own, you may be experiencing hardships, such as the inability to pay rent, utilities, or receive other life-sustaining services. And once again, you're called upon by your family to serve and protect. We want you to know we are here to support you. The Veterans Rental Assistance Program was created by and for people living in Wisconsin, with benefit approvals being issued to veterans in just days, not months. It's not easy to ask for a hand up, but we are clear in our mission. No Wisconsin veteran should ever have to face homelessness or lose heat, power, or water again. 833-WISC-VRAP. That's 833-947-8727.
Need life insurance? Select Quote found Jacob, 40, a $500,000 policy for only $19 a month. And Select Quote found his wife Wendy, a $500,000 policy for only $17 a month.
Select Quote. We shop, you save.
Make a move in the most electrifying Honda vehicles yet. Like the CR-V and Accord, with available hybrid powertrains designed for more responsive performance and more advanced tech. When you drive a Honda, you're driving with the 2022 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Value brand. Get moving and find the Honda for you. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Non-drowsy Claritin knocks out symptoms from over 200 allergens without knocking you out. Feel the clarity and make today the most wonderful time of the year. Live Claritin Clear.
Calling all 90s fans. Hello. Seal takes us back with his biggest hits. And a young man taps into his talent.
On the next Jennifer Hudson Show at 3. You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Tonight, President Biden returned to the White House after monitoring the emergency evacuation at Camp David in Maryland. The president says he's working closely with allies and other partners as concern grows for the estimated 16,000 Americans still trapped in Sudan. The battle for the capital city, now in its second week, shows no signs of ending. After a military coup in 2021, 2 generals, Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo and Abdul Fattah al-Burhan, have turned their armies against each other. The conflict has killed at least 400 and wounded thousands. The U.S. State Department is in constant communication with U.S. citizens and government partners looking to exit Sudan, as the U.S. stressed to the Sudanese the importance of protecting foreign citizens looking to leave the country. But with summer travel set to take off, airlines and other aviation officials are signaling there's trouble ahead. CBS's Elise Preston is at LAX tonight with more on what you need to know.
The summer travel rush is starting early this year. Are you headed to At Los Angeles International Airport, many flyers have already locked down their vacation plans and are ready to go.
We are making up for lost time and trying to see family.
Pent-up demand is expected to make this the busiest summer at airports in 4 years. Flyers are bracing for packed planes and soaring prices.
We started searching flights a couple of years ago. It's gone up $600 for 2 flights.
Oh my goodness.
So $300 per ticket.
Unlike lower food and gas prices, inflation is still hitting travelers hard. The cost of an airline ticket has climbed 17% from last year. A hotel stay, 8%. Finding a seat could be tough. Delta says it's already sold 75% of its international flights. Another hurdle for some, getting a passport in time.
What has the wait been like?
For the passports?
Yeah.
The most difficult part is you don't know when they're going to get here.
U.S. State Department offices nationwide are swamped with about 500,000 applications every week, a jump of about 30% from last summer.
It needs to be the original only.
It can take up to 3 months to get a passport. It used to be 6 to 9 weeks, enough to worry some travelers about their trip going bust.
You're waiting to get your tickets, though, until after you get your passport.
Yes. If you already have a passport, check the expiration date. Officials recommend the passport be valid for at least 6 months after you leave the U.S. Elise Preston, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Well, passengers on a flight about to take off from Charlotte Douglas International Airport got a view nobody wants to see when they look out the window. Flames shooting from the wing. A spokesperson for American Airlines reported the plane had a mechanical issue, but it is unclear exactly what caused the fire. The pilot was able to taxi the plane back to the gate using the plane's power. Luckily, nobody was injured. And from California, look at this massive fire that broke out at Disneyland. Officials say a giant dragon caught fire during the park's Fantasmic show Saturday night. Fantasmic is a long-running nighttime Disney show featuring special effects, state-of-the-art projections, and, quote, superb pyrotechnics, including Maleficent, a 45-foot fire-breathing dragon. Disney says Anaheim Fire and Rescue responded quickly and were able to put that fire out. All cast members and guests were evacuated from Tom Sawyer Island and areas around it due to smoke and wind. Authorities are still now trying to figure out what went wrong. And in Utah, 2 homes slid off a cliff following a landslide, and 2 other homes on either side of the properties were evacuated, and it was all caught on video. At one home, metal fell from the porch ceiling moments before the second story fell backward and down the hill. At the other home, it sank downward and slid down the slope, leaving little left of the structure. It happened in Draper City, south of Salt Lake City. No one was injured. City officials blamed the melting snowpack and changes in soil conditions. They say other homes in the neighborhood will be inspected to make sure they're structurally sound. Draper City officials have also closed 2 public trails in the area because of safety concerns and blocked access to the neighborhood for everyone except residents. All right, let's turn to Jacob Mazzano for your firstborn forecast.
Thanks, Armand. And to follow up on that story, you mentioned that a lot of that had to do with the melting snowpack. And here's a look at the current snow depth. It is only going to get worse because several of the higher elevations in the Rocky Mountains are still seeing 2 to 3 feet or more of snowfall. And although we're cold on the eastern half of the United States, the western half of the U.S., especially across the Rockies, have been dealing with a little bit above average temperatures, and that will continue for next week. Right now, 56 in Salt Lake City. Now, some of the higher elevations are closer to freezing, if not below freezing, but as I mentioned, they are going to see warmer than average temperatures for the next 6 to 10 days. Meanwhile, we're going to remain below average, and here are the 3 things you need to know. We're going to see some light rain possible for tomorrow and Tuesday. The chilly weather is going to continue, especially through the middle of the week, but then heavier rain is possible towards the end of the week, right as the temperatures start to get closer to normal. Now, here's a look at the current radar, pretty much completely dry. All of this you're seeing on the radar likely not reaching the ground, so we're not dealing with any precipitation. Here's a look at Futurecast. We are going to see skies clear up by the morning, but the temperatures are going to be very cold. But the sun may be out for sunrise tomorrow. Now, highs tomorrow will get into the 50s for most of us, but we are going to see some more light rain, especially off to the north of Madison. We could see some light rain here in Madison as well, but it's mostly going to be rainfall, likely not going to see snowfall. The temperatures will be a bit too warm for that. But then we're going to continue to be cloudy for tomorrow night, although tomorrow night the low temperatures aren't going to be quite as cold, and we'll continue to see some light rain chances. Overall, the heavier rain will stay off to the east of us, and throughout the afternoon on Tuesday, the light rain just may continue. So it's just going to kind of linger for the next 24 to 48 hours, but Wednesday is looking a lot clearer. Now here's a look at the almanac for today. We only reached 42 degrees, 18 degrees colder than the average high for this time of year, but the average low was only 5 degrees colder. And that's because when you have cloudy skies, the temperatures don't fluctuate as much as they do under clear skies. Now here's a look at the overnight lows. Much of the area will drop to around 30 degrees. We are going to see some places drop into the upper 20s, and highs tomorrow will be warmer than today, but still below average. Lower 50s for much of us. Some places may only stay in the 40s. Now for Tuesday, very similar to tomorrow with a high of around 50 degrees, maybe some showers, especially in the morning, should dry up by the afternoon. We also are going to see some cloudy skies, so not a lot of sunshine for the next couple of days. There will be some peaks of sunshine, especially during sunrise tomorrow, but for Wednesday and Thursday, we will see a bit more sunshine and temperatures will be a bit warmer, especially on Thursday. Thursday is probably the best day in the next 7 days because we do have that rain towards the end of the week as the temperatures warm up. But then as we look towards the 9th and 10th day, it is going to be a bit nicer then as high temperatures could reach the lower 60s. There is a chance of rain next Wednesday, but Tuesday is actually looking not too bad. So as a whole, the temperatures are going to remain below average, but slowly get better. By the time they get into the lower 60s by the 9th and 10th day and the 6th to 10 day, the average high for that time of year will actually be all the way up into the mid 60s. So it looks like there's not a end in sight to the below average temperatures, although they are going to get warmer than today and yesterday, so that's definitely some good news. I'm hoping this was the coldest weekend until the fall.
I'm hoping so too. Jacob, thank you. And it's draft week and the trade talk has picked up again for Aaron Rodgers. Jordan has those details next in sports.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
There are so many things we take for granted. So many things. And along with them, sometimes we take the people who depend on them for their survival for granted too. The elderly, disabled, the veterans, people on limited and fixed incomes, or folks that lost jobs in sectors hardest hit during the pandemic. How can they survive with record increases in their basic cost of living? Some people just can't come back. And through no fault of their own, they're being left behind, struggling to keep their heat, water, and power on. If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our heat, water, and power providers are working together to keep you safely in your home. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
Do you have an idea for an invention, but you don't know what to do next? Call InventHelp. They've been helping inventors for 35 years. Call today for free information.
Call 800-550-5543.
No one is indestructible, but you can be indistractable.
Join the Circle of Life at the Lion King. Experience the world's #1 musical. Don't miss your chance to see The Lion King, one of the most awe-inspiring productions ever brought to life on stage.
Coming to Overture Center May 11th through 28th. Tickets on sale now at overture.org.
How do we decide what hotel to book? Fear not. I got you. Choice Hotels has a hotel for every type of stay. Like a comfort with the kiddos. Spacious. That's what they all say. Stay twice and get a $50 gift card when you book direct at choicehotels.com.
Why are there 2 extra seats? Are we getting 2 Great Danes? I know, giant Uncle Dane and his giant beard. Maybe a dragon. Twin sisters, and one is a robot and one is a knight. And I'll be on the side of the octopus.
the Volkswagen Atlas, with best-in-class third-row legroom. Visit your local Volkswagen dealer for 4.9% APR financing for 72 months on a new 2023 Atlas or Atlas Cross Sport.
"18 years ago today, the Packers took Aaron Rodgers 24th overall in the 2005 draft. Fast forward to now, and trade talks for the four-time MVP have resumed between Green Bay and the Jets. Well, that's what NFL Network's Ian Rappaport is reporting. He says the organizations have re-engaged after a quiet couple of weeks, adding that the teams hope they can complete a deal this week. Rodgers made his intentions known last month on the Pat McAfee Show. He wants to play for the Jets. Now remember, the NFL draft begins on Thursday. It's been next man up mentality for the Bucks as they've been without their two-time MVP for the last two games. As of now, his status for Game 4 with the Heat is questionable. This afternoon, Giannis did get individual work out on the court as he recovers from that lower back injury he suffered a week ago in the playoff series opener. Coach Bud talked after a team film session today, saying that they're going to continue to monitor him and see how he feels.
The collaboration, the communication, it's got to be the player and the medical group, the player and the coach, the player and the front office or the GM. He always, wants to make himself available. He does everything to make himself available. He wants to play. But I think there's also a maturity for Giannis and an understanding and a growth that I think, we just respect, and I think he respects us.
Game 4 is tomorrow night at 6:30. Then the series will come back to Milwaukee. Game 5 is on Wednesday night. When it comes to protecting home field, Brewers pretty much have that on lock. Heading into the rubber match with the Red Sox, the crew had only dropped 2 games at AmFam, but today they just didn't go as planned. In the 4th inning, they're down by 3, and Brian Anderson is going to drill his first of 2 homers on the day. Well, the Brewers are actually able to erase the deficit. It's going to be tied up in the 7th, and a wild pitch is going to allow Joey Wiemer to score the go-ahead. But that lead is short-lived because disaster strikes in the 8th. The Sox score 9 runs. 5 of those come from Masataka Yoshida. He has a solo homer and a grand slam. Sox take the rubber match. The Brewers begin a 3-game series with the Tigers tomorrow night. Badger softball finally out of their rut. They snapped that 5-game skid with a come-from-behind win over Nebraska yesterday. Well, the Cornhuskers are going to strike first this afternoon. Bottom of the 2nd. Got some runners on the corners, and Caitlin Neal comes up with that big hit. Her double gives Nebraska an early lead, and the Badgers are going to answer in the very next frame. Molly Schlosser got runners on, and she's going to single. That's going to bring in Katie Keller, but that's where the rally ends. UW drops the series finale 2-1. The Invited Celebrity Classic finishing up in Texas today. Jerry Kelly on his A game, another 5 birdie outing, including one on 18. It's going to move him to 10 under overall. He cards a 67 for the final round and finishes the tournament tied for 4th.
I think the Brewers need more crow hoppers on the pitching mound.
I know. You found out what that term was. What was it, like about a week or 2 ago? And you were practicing. We were practicing it tonight out in the newsroom.
Yeah, there you go. You do a little hop, a skip, and a jump, and then you throw it, and it's supposed to throw it harder.
Should we ever show the video evidence?
No, I don't think we ever should.
No, we don't need to?
Yeah, that stays.
That stays with us?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it has improved. I can definitely say that. It has improved.
Oh.
Yeah, so there we go. See, A for effort.
Exactly.
We love it.
Thanks, Jordan. We'll be right back.
Dear Exit Strategy, all your pieces are in place. Thanks for being there when I need you most. Always Toyota SUVs. Toyota. Let's go places.
Wisconsin lottery winners are everywhere in Wisconsin. Some win a little, some win a lot. Some play every day, and some win on their very first try. But no matter who they are or how they play, Wisconsin lottery players have been awarded $9.7 billion in prizes since 1988. From Spring Green to Shawano, Harmony to Hudson, you'll find winners everywhere in Wisconsin.
It's Make My Monday at Hy-Vee. One day only this Monday. Get Hy-Vee pasta for just 88 cents. 8-ounce Hy-Vee Choice Reserve sirloins, just $3.99. Roma Pizza, just $1.99. 6-pack Coke products for just $2.99. Little Debbie Snacks, 3 for just $5. And Hy-Vee Ketchup for only 99 cents. That's Make My Monday. One day only this Monday. And only at Hy-Vee.
This is how legends are made.
Chevy Silverado and new Silverado HD. Choose your own path with the #1 best-selling retail full-size pickup and see where it takes you. Find new roads. It's Chevy truck season. Get 0% financing plus make no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2023 Silverado 1500 pickups. Or current Chevy owners get $37.50 total cash allowance on all 2023 Silverado pickups with a turbo high-output engine. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Turn on Bionic Spotlight Extreme 360, the motion-activated home defense light that looks just like a security camera. It detects even the slightest motion and automatically triggers 6 ultra-bright LED high beams. Call or go online and order your Bionic Extreme 360 for just $19.99. Plus, get free shipping on your entire order.
To order, call 1-800-501-5956 or go online to buybionic360.com. Call now.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Non-drowsy Claritin knocks out symptoms from over 200 allergens without knocking you out. Feel the clarity and make today the most wonderful time of the year. Live Claritin Clear.
Arby's, 2 for $7. Every day, a classic, a favorite, an Arby's legend. 2 of those things for just $7. Arby's, we have the meat.
Dear Exit Strategy, all your pieces are in place. Thanks for being there when I need you most. Always Toyota SUVs. Toyota. Let's go places.
Life in the Flex Lane, Thursday on News 3 Now at 6.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Still pretty chilly, huh?
Yeah, tonight we're going to see low temperatures below freezing again. Here's the forecast. We are going to become clear. We could see a lot of sunshine around sunrise, but cloudy skies again by the afternoon. High temperatures will be in the lower 50s. Chance of showers, not quite as cold, but still below average. Throughout the week, we will see temperatures in the 50s, slowly warming up to close to 60 by the end of the week. But then we also are going to see some storms to end the week, especially Friday and Saturday. Rain chances will continue for Sunday and Monday, but then we could see 60s to start, or close to the start of next week. Tuesday and Wednesday we could be in lower 60s, but by then the average high is supposed to be around 65. So we're gonna, in general, just continue to stay below average, but we're gonna eventually we'll get to those warmer temperatures, and I'm hoping that we aren't gonna see many more days where the high is in the 40s like today and yesterday.
I think we're all hoping.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Jacob, and thank you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow on News 3 Now this morning.